ואנו מכריזים בזאת
I'm very sure this is the view from Israel. Today, what I'd like to do is give you both a diplomatic and a military strategic explanation of why Israel struck out at Iran. Let's just go back in time. On the 1st of April, an Israeli airstrike in Damascus killed an Iranian general by the name of Mohammad Reza Zahidi. This man was a top commander of the Iranian Republican Guard Corps, or Quds Force. Basically, this top commander was the equivalent of Soleimani, who you may recall was taken out by a US airstrike at Baghdad airport, except that Israel had another 4 targets that we managed to assassinate, and they were the other generals who were in charge of the Iranian weapons transportation and storage and delivery to their proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, based in Syria. So this is why this attack was so important. Now, on Saturday night to Saturday the 13th of April, all of Israel braced for an announced attack by Iran of hundreds of missiles coming at us. I want you to appreciate what this is like. We were given a warning that these had been launched, and we had between 6 and 8 hours to prepare ourselves for their arrival. We were told by the Home Guard of how to be close to either a bomb shelter or the stairwell of apartment buildings, but quite frankly, most Israelis by this time were glued to their television screens as we were giving a countdown of where these missiles were. In fact, minimal damage was caused. There was only one rocket that was reported landed, and that was near the Nevatim Air Base, causing minor damage. And unfortunately, the only personal damage was against a 7-year-old Bedouin girl, and she's still in hospital fighting for her life, helped by the Israeli doctors and nurses to try and keep her alive. Having achieved that, we were told by the United States President Biden that we should take the win and not strike back at Iran. Now, President Biden probably is familiar with American football, but here in Israel, the most popular viewed sport is in fact soccer. And what happens in soccer is if a team with a strong attacking force attacks the defense, and somehow the defense manages to prevent them scoring a goal, this is not a win, this is a draw. And it was important for Israel to turn this into the win that President Biden wanted it to be. And we told both President Biden and also the foreign ministers of Britain and Germany who rushed to Israel saying, please do not retaliate. We made the point that because Israel is a sovereign state, and if attacked, we have no choice but to retaliate. This cannot stand alone. And we chose a moment and a destination to make our response. And that one was for an Iranian Air Force base in a place called Isfahan. And what was the significance of that target was the fact that what we had hit was the Iranian air defense system that was protecting their nuclear facility at Natanz. So in other words, Israel has told Iran, we have knocked out your air defense system, protecting your nuclear facilities. And even if you rebuild it, we can do the same. And we've got other weapons and other ideas and other systems that can defeat you. This is a warning that Iran has to take seriously. But it's also a warning for the West, for the United States, for Britain, for the European Union, to bring sanctions, punishing sanctions against Iran at the United Nations, sanctions that will harm them economically, if not any other way, so that we do not have to be forced to actually attack their nuclear facilities. The ball is now in the court of your country's governments to bring such a decision to the United Nations and have real biting sanctions brought against Iran, not only for their own attitude, for their own attack against Israel, for their own ambition to destroy Israel, but the fact that without Iran, we wouldn't be fighting a three-front war against Hamas in Gaza, against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and against the Houthis in Yemen. All fed, all paid for, all armed, all trained by Iran. This is the time for your country to take the necessary sanctions necessary so we do not have to attack Iran again. This is Barry Shaw, The View from Israel.
אנו מכריזים בזאת